Welcome back to Zaimis channel. My name is Zaim Iskandar. Well. Tonight's video I will be talking about a certain world champion that has decided to sign a 40 million pound contract extension that will make him the longest ever Red Bull serving driver in F1. He made his debut in the Spanish Grand Prix, and guess what? He won and he got his first podium. And in his 63rd time standing on the podium, he has 23 wins already. He equaled the number of wins of a certain German driver that is born to a Finnish father and a German mother, Nico Rosberg. And he is also a former world champion, Rosberg. So yeah, like his father in 1982. Yeah. 2016, 1982. So it's around 34 years. Yeah. So far he's the most successful Dutch driver on the grid and also in F1 history. No, not even single Dutch driver could match his can match his record. Even it might be Nick the Vries, but chances of Nick the Vries driving in F1, as long as Russell's teammate Hamilton does not retire, is really slim. They might either put Van Dorn in that seat or who's that guy? The Vries in Hamilton's seat if Hamilton retires. But I'm not going to talk about the Mercedes seat. So back to my intentions of my video for the night. Yes. So as you guys know, he has extended his stay with Red Bull until 2028. His contract is worth 40 million pounds a year. That does not include winning bonuses for each race. Okay. Championship winning bonuses and other sort of performance bonus, and also other sorts of endorsement that he can bring to the team. It's just his basic salary is 40 million pounds a year. That is around times 6 if you want to convert it to ringgit, times 6 or times 5 if you want to convert it to ringgit. If times 5 is 200 million, if you times by 6 is 240 million ringgit, and that is almost half a billion ringgit. Yes, a quarter of a billion ringgit, sorry. So yeah, Hamilton's salary had to be reduced from 50 million pounds or euros down to about 40 to 45, because I think they put a cap on the salary. It should not exceed 50. So it should not be more than 45 or 50 million pounds or euros. It depends. But usually they like, for some reason, they like to convert it to American dollars, and the exchange rate from pounds and euros to American dollars, I don't know. So yeah, So yes, so 40 million pounds a year for a reigning world champion, and his current contract ends the end of this year. His new contract will start next year, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. Okay, that's actually 6 years. Yeah, 6 plus 6 is 12. So he will be the longest serving driver, and I think the longest serving driver as to date, it's since 2007 or 2006, Mark Webber. So he retired from racing in 2013 with Red Bull, winning the championship and also the drivers title and the constructors title. A certain Vettel did the job, winning about the last 9 races of that particular season, and that was pretty dominant. Yes. By the way, just for info, yeah. So on this year's grid, there is 8 drivers that are related to Red Bull or their young drivers program. Yes, one Japanese, one Frenchman, one Thai, one German that was a former Red Bull driver and a former Ferrari driver, and also a former 4-time world champion that is now driving. Yes, for Aston Martin, and a former Red Bull driver and a Renault driver that was also a former teammate of, I think, Sainz and Hulkenberg during his Renault days. Hulkenberg during his Renault days and Sainz during his early McLaren days before yeah. Oh, both of them were in Renault when he was with the team. So so then comes Perez, Sainz, a former Toro Rosso driver, a former Renault driver, and McLaren driver. Yes, he spent about a season with Renault. Then he stayed a couple of years with McLaren before he moved to Ferrari. Yes, since when? I think he just started last year, if I'm correct. Was Lucas teammate last year? Last year, Sainz. Yeah, last year. So we have Sainz, we have Tsunoda, we have Perez. Okay, Verstappen, Vettel, Ricardo, Gasly, and Albon. 8 drivers. That is around 60% of the grid, or just a bit more than 60% of the grid, consisting of current Red Bull development drivers and former Red Bull development drivers, and and also a former Red Bull driver and two current Red Bull drivers, Perez and Verstappen. So the 2 former Red Bull development drivers and also permanent drivers for Red Bull, used to be permanent drivers, is is the 4 times world champion and also Ricardo. Okay, Ricardo is not our champion. Okay, the the former Red Bull driver and who is still a part of the Red Bull Young Drivers program, or Gasly, but I think he's 20s, he's in his mid-20s or somewhat. So yeah, then the Japanese driver Tsunoda, Alexander Albon is still the development, the young drivers and development for Red Bull, but now he's racing with Mercedes-Benz, Williams Racing, and he has been doing quite well so far this season. In the last few races, he has been finishing in the top 12 consistently. Out of the last 3 to 4 races, he has finished in the top 10 twice. One in, I think, Imola, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, got a point there. And the other one, he was promoted into 9th place after he finished in 10th due to Alonso's double 5-second penalty. One for causing collision, the other one for cutting a corner. So Alonso dropped out of the top 10, so anyone behind Alonso gained a place. Yeah. So Albon basically finished in 10th place, but he went up a place, so he got 2 points. Yeah, he's doing quite well, even with the likes of Verstappen in 2020. He was also quite well, but I was surprised that Red Bull decided to let him go and let him race in DTM. In some of the races he did quite well, like in the Styrian or Australian Grand Prix in 2020. He did pretty well, but sadly Hamilton crashed into him. So yes, the video is actually drags longer because I did not only talk about Verstappen, I talked about the Red Bull driver, the former Red Bull drivers, the current Red Bull drivers, and also their young drivers development program. Okay, and there's a few detours here and there. So yeah, good night and see you on my next video. I will post this in the morning. See you.